Hello everyone, this is Galen Martling. Today I'm going to show two wreath cards, and these are the same wreath die set. It's just used in two different ways and two totally different themes, and I wanted to show you how you can just stretch your supplies just by changing out the colors and themes and using them differently. And so for the stamps and the dies I'm using by Spellbinders, it is a collection called Texture and Foliage by Suzanne Hugh. And what I've done is I've used the dies and I've cut them multiple times in different shades. One is Christmas shades of leaves, a dark teal and a light teal and gold. And the other one is a couple of different colors of purple and lavender. And so what I've done is, instead of just one layer of the wreath colors and the wreaths die cuts, I did it like 2 or 3 different times and layer them to make a nice thick wreath. And so you see I have some dies there that I'm going to use, and there's also some sentiment stamps and dies, and also there is a BetterPress press plate for it is called Birthday Sentiments, and it also has a die for the BetterPress. I'm going to show you how I go ahead and do that. I started with Dina Wakley inks. They are, oh my goodness, this one is called Happy, this set of inks, but there's another set also that she has. I wanted to use this particular one, this ink. It is called Iris, and so that is special to me, so I'm using that ink and Iris for the celebration card. So I have a holiday Christmas card, and I have a celebration, Celebrate You card that could be used for lots of different celebration occasions and birthday. And so I wanted to use this BetterPress plate for the second card. So the first one is Christmas, and then the second one is Celebrate. And so I inked up using the BetterPress ink. You can use any archival ink if you'd like, or dye inks if you want to use dye inks for the color. I just chose the BetterPress ink because they had the iris color. And you want to run it through, after you stamp and you place the ink on the plate, you run it really slow. This is the real-time motion going through my die cutting machine. I have the platinum die cutting machine, so I don't need a shim. But if you have the Big Shot or some other machines, you might need a shim as well. And it came out just perfectly. All the sentiments press beautifully all at once. And the best part is they also die cut all at once. So this is a new favorite thing, to get multiple sentiments at one time. That's what I love. So anytime I see combined sentiments with one die, I'm going to grab it. So this is Archival Ink Cleaner I'm using, because this is an ink that will stain unless you get it, cleaned up pretty good. I find it the easiest to just take the plate to the sink with some soapy water and clean it off, and use the Archival Ink Cleaner for your actual BetterPress platform. This is the die getting ready. I just taped it down and ran it through my die cutting machine, cut out the sentiments, and they pop right out real easy. And these are the sentiments all cut out. I like to save them in a pouch and keep them with the die set or the press plate set, so I can use them for other cards. So I can use them for different occasion and themes, and I have them ready. I love that. This is what it looks like. You could see the multiple layers on that purple wreath. The sentiments I'm using are celebration themes. It could be for really anything you're celebrating, feminine look. I also used an embossing folder. That's a linen embossing folder. It's a 3D embossing folder, and I prepared that ahead and die cut that frame background, get it ready to go to place the wreath and sentiment dies. So I went ahead and I have this glue, Barely Art glue, and I just ever so lightly put some tiny dots on the back of that, and then I'm going to carefully place it right over that embossed panel that you see, that texture panel. You might want to put something on top, like a book, and let it set, but I just use my hands and I just kind of held it down a little bit. It catches. It doesn't take very long to set. So I wanted to make sure everything was set before I continued. Because I was filming, I didn't really want to wait too long, but it did set. There you go. Now I just use some really narrow and thin double-sided foam tape to place the sentiments. And I use a tweezer for that because it's easier for me. The tweezer is much smaller than my finger, and it handles and places much easier with a tweezer. That's just what I use. I find it very helpful. Now I have a second card. This one is going to be a Christmas card. Again, you can use any theme, any sentiments that you might have. I'm choosing the dies and stamps that I pre-cut using that Mary stamp and die set. This is again the cover die and for the stripes, and another die for the scallops and the inside part there. They coordinate, those two, the striped panel and the bow and bell set, I believe it's called. They do coordinate together, and they layer nicely. I added a touch of glue on the stripes, and I'm going to layer that in white. The stripe die I cut in white, and I layered it right over a glittery gold layer. I used treasured cardstock and gold for the background there. I wanted some shimmer for the Christmas card. And then again, I'm using my hands and I'm just kind of carefully letting it set. I like the glue because you have wiggle room and you can move it around if you need to before it dries all the way. So anything like that you need to line up good, just use glue instead of double-sided tape. But, or, just be very careful with it and use what you have. Again, I'm adding, this is a Christmas wreath. I chose to use sort of non-traditional colors for it, but I am using tiny bits of glue. I'm going to put the bow that came in that frame die on that wreath. And it looks so cute on there. So then I'm holding it down, just making sure it places real good. I added, this is going to be a horizontal card, and the first one is a vertical card. So, I really wanted the stripes to be the focal point, and I thought it looked nice horizontally, so I used it that way. And then placed it with the glue. And then again, taking the film off of the double-sided adhesive foam tape and just placing the sentiments. In this case, I'm using 3. And it's easy to line up the sentiments. You can put them right over the stripes. That's a little cheat there, but it's good. It looks nice. And the wreath is a nice space to put sentiments. And this one is wishing you a Merry Christmas. This one looks, like it has a lot of texture, but it's not too high and not too thick. I think I'll get away with 1, maybe 2 stamps in the mail on this card. And it's so pretty. I also recommend when you're sending your handmade cards, go ahead and add a plain white A2 size cardstock layer right on top of the finished card. And what you'll find is that protects any little bits or embellishments from falling off in the mail. That's just a little tip for the day. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you like this and you give it a try. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. Have a wonderful day.